The president of Wilmington City Council is running for mayor, and he gives us big news about a major company and their plans for Wilmington. This is the Delaware Way. Welcome to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. We want to get right to the interview because we have Theo Gregory, who is the president of City Council and a newly announced candidate for mayor. Sir, thank you so much for coming in today. You're running for mayor. Why you?
My credentials, my history as a public servant. I can lead, I believe I can close, I can get things done, but principally my credentials and my background as a public servant.
Do you think that Dennis Williams has not done a good job as mayor?
I think that as all public servants, we come in office hoping and praying to do a good job, but I think that there are too many areas that he's failed in, that he has not performed well in, not just adequate or poorly, but just as absolutely failed.
Right, because I read a quote from you in the News Journal on Delaware Online saying that there is there's no leadership, that he's failed in leadership.
Yes.
In what ways specifically?
Well, a leader brings people together. A leader has a plan. A leader executes that plan. A leader revisit the plan, may tweak the plan, and stays on message with respect to the plan and is responsive to the community. I don't think that that it's evident that this administration has failed on all those fronts. No plan, no execution, no responsiveness, and not staying on message.
But when you look at the failures you're talking about in the city of Wilmington, and I would imagine you're looking at the schools, crime, the business climate. Is that fair? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
It's fair. You can say some of those things.
Shouldn't some of the blame be on you as well?
Because I was on
because you're president of City Council. I mean, I understand the mayor is the leader, but you're supposed to be working with the mayor, no?
Oh, absolutely. The vision for the city, I believe, 85 to 90% of it resides with the mayor. The other 15 to 20% is on the legislative side of government. It's driven in part by the president with 12 other folk. But the key is working with the mayor and having the mayor to work with. We failed in that regard. I believe that I've aggressively tried to work with this mayor and will continue to try to work with him over the next year, but I believe that we need to go in another direction.
You know he's going to say exactly the opposite.
I'm fine with that.
That you wouldn't work with him.
I'm fine with that.
Is there evidence to support your claim that he didn't work with you?
If you talk to each person's staff, I'm sure they'll say the same thing, but I believe that people who know me knows that I've severely reached out and tried to work with the mayor over the years.
Why wouldn't the voters of Wilmington look at the current situation and look at the failures that you acknowledge and say, you know, we should get somebody who's not serving right now. We should get somebody from the outside, because I know there's a couple of people who aren't currently on City Council who are running and would not be stained by the failures of the city so far.
Well, we have someone from the outside now. This mayor was not on City Council. This mayor had no previous leadership or management experience. This mayor is an outsider to city government. We do not need another experiment. We need someone that understands the nuances of city government, that does not have to come in and do a 2 or 3 year process of on-the-job training. So we need someone with experience.
Let's get some specifics then. What would you do differently? What would you do that's not being done right now?
Well, public safety. I would put a chief in place. I wouldn't go through 2 or 3 chiefs in an administration. I would stay out of the chief's way. We would put a plan in place, and I've put a plan in place that I have, and it calls for community policing. It calls for a MET unit or a disrupt unit, but not as a unit, but some temporary, but would stay in place permanently. And there are a lot of other aspects to that, but I would put that person in place and stay out of their way. Hold them accountable, but I would stay out of their way. I would not try to be the police chief, number one. Number two, we would make sure that we get a voice in education in the city of Wilmington. When you think about education, you think about federal government, state government, you think about 2 foundations, and they all have their voice, but the city of Wilmington needs to have a voice in developing and educating its children. We've not done that. On a bricks and mortar basis, William Hicks Anderson Community Center, the City Council, through my leadership, we allocated $2 million to William Hicks Anderson Community Center to do upgrades. And instead of getting upgrades, the center has gone downhill over the last 2 to 3 years. We would fix that. We would make that happen for the community and close that out as a positive for the community.
And you have the money for all this?
Oh, absolutely. We would have to raise some more money for Hicks, but we put $2 million over there. But we would have to go to the foundations and corporations and ask them for their support.
I take it from your statement that Bobby Cummings would not stay on as police chief if you were mayor.
You know, I think Bobby Cummings is capable, but I think he would. The jury's not out on Bobby. I really believe that if Bobby had a commander-in-chief that would stand out of his way, and Bobby could execute as he chose to execute, get some authority, Bobby could stay on. I'm not saying that Bobby would definitely go, as I wouldn't say anybody in the city. We would ask for a resignations. If I were to become mayor, we would evaluate everyone in their own regard, looking at how they could grow and what they could become as leaders in the city of Wilmington. We may keep some folks.
He was brought in specifically to bring down the shootings and bring down the murder rate. That has not happened.
Yeah, but you got to stay out of his way.
I do want to get to this current shooting since we're talking about the police and this 28-year-old man, Bam McDowell, he was called, who was shot in his wheelchair. You've seen the video, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Was that a justified shooting?
I can't comment on that. I can tell you I've seen the video with the naked eye. I could tell you what I think I saw on that. When folk have called me up and they're very irate, I tell them to be patient because there'll be a video forensic analysis of the tape. There would be an investigation, and I'm told state, and I'm hopeful federal. I thought that we had already called for a federal, but I saw where Councilman Street sent a letter now calling for one. But with the video forensics and with the federal investigation, then I would be in a position to comment on that.
Why do you want a federal investigation? Is that an indictment on Matt Den and the job that they would do?
No, it's not. I think that some investigations need to be independent from the immediate community. I believe in states' rights, but I do believe that this is so sensitive to the community, when the community wants an independent look at this, and they want someone at the federal level. That's what I've been asked. People have been asking me, will there be a federal investigation? Therefore, I think there should be one.
Is that an acknowledgement by you that there are those in the community who don't trust the police and don't trust Matt Den's investigation? It may not be you,
absolutely.
But you're saying that there's...
Absolutely. That's an easy answer, absolutely. People are not going to trust local folk to investigate this, either the city of Wilmington or the state. Why not add the feds as investigators?
Do you think it's going to happen?
I hope so.
The reason I ask you that is because we had Matt Den sitting right here with other police shootings, and I asked him that very question. The facts are the facts. Why would you care if the feds came in to investigate? And he would not relinquish that
I think
power.
You have to give the community comfort. This one is very unique. This is a not black on black crime. This is a situation where the police officers shot an individual. It looks peculiar. I'll say it that way because I'm a city official. It looks peculiar. Therefore, you want as independent a body as possible to do the investigation.
Just one last question on this. Do you feel a tension on the street right now because of this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you fearful of what might happen?
I think that the city of Wilmington is going to remain responsible. I believe that they're going to wait and get the forensic analysis of the video, and they're going to wait for an appropriate investigation. And I think we'll remain appropriate. We will remain appropriate.
Thank you so much, sir. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation about the future of Wilmington and talk about the business climate. When we continue our conversation with Wilmington Council President Theo Gregory, now a candidate for mayor.